Okay, simplifying expressions containing exponents. I know that you don't have a headache already like this little kitty right here, but if you do, just rub your head a little bit and we'll move on to simplifying expressions containing the exponents. You remember that a power is made up of a base and an exponent. And one of the things that's important is you cannot multiply, you cannot combine powers that don't have the same base. For example, let's get red here. You can't combine 3 to the 4th times 2 to the 3rd because they don't have the same base, okay? But you can combine 3 to the 4th times 3 to the 3rd, okay? And that's what we're going to be exploring here. Well, at least reviewing, not really exploring, because you've already been exposed to this, and this is just a review. So since this is a review, we'll be moving a little bit quicker than normal, probably have less examples than normal. First thing you got to remember is when multiplying powers with the same base, add the exponents. So here we have a to the 3rd times a to the 5th. All you've got to do is write a, well you don't have to write this is the middle step. A to the 3rd plus 5, and that gives you a to the 8th. B to the 6th times b to the 4th, that's b to the 6th plus 4, which gives you b to the 10th. And then the last one down here, c to the negative 2 plus 9. Negative 2 plus 9 gives you c to the 7th. It's as simple as that. Just add the exponents together, and you've combined the powers when you're multiplying powers. Okay, now you show what you know. You pause the video, do these 3, and then get back with me. Okay, we've got a to the 7th times a to the 9th. That'll be a to the 7 plus 9, which gives you a to the 16. Did you get that? B to the negative 6 and b to the negative 4. That's b negative 6 plus negative 4 gives you negative 10. Okay? C to the 2 times c to the 45 gives you c to the 47. Okay? Remember, do not multiply the exponents. You're adding the exponents. All right, now, one that's a little bit more complicated, or at least it looks a little bit more complicated. I'll do mine, then I'll let you do yours. A to the 3rd, b to the 5th, c to the 2nd, times a to the 9th, b to the negative 2, c to the 4th. All you got to do is treat it like 3 different problems. A to the 3rd times a to the 9th gives you a to the 3 plus 9. B to the 5 times b to the negative 2 gives you b to the 5 plus negative 2 gives you b to the 3. And c to the 2 times c to the 4 gives you c to the 6. All right, now it's your turn. You do this one. And let's see how you do. Pause the video. All right, so we go m times, hey, wait, what is this? This is m what? This is m1. Remember when there's nothing there, there's an understood 1 to be there. So m1 times m4 gives you m5. And n2 times n6 gives you n8. Whoops, 8. All right. I hope you did well. When dividing powers with the same base, now when you're multiplying powers with the same base, you add the exponents, then it makes sense that when you're dividing powers with the same base, you have to subtract the exponents. So we have d to the 9 over d to the 6. That would be d to the 9 minus 6, or just d to the 3rd. We've got e to the 7 over e to the 4. That will give you e to the 7 minus 4, or just e to the 3rd. And over here we've got f. This is why it's always a good idea to write this stuff down, because here's where a lot of people make a mistake. They see the 8 and the negative 7, and they get 1 out of that. They go 8 minus 7. But it's really 8 minus a negative 7, which gives you f to the 15th. So be careful about that kind of problem, okay? All right, let's see what you know. You do these 3, get back with me, and we'll see how you're progressing along. All right, so we've got d to the 4 over d to the 3. That's d to the 4 minus 3, or just d to the 1. e to the 5 minus, or over e to the negative 2 gives us e to the 5 minus a minus 2 gives us e to the 7. And f to the 1 minus a minus 4 gives us f to the 5. Okay. All right, now one that, like I said, they look a little bit more complicated, but they're not really. It's just you got to treat them like separate problems. So x to the third over x to the 2, that would be 3 minus 2 gives us x. And y to the 4 minus 2 gives us 2. All right, you do this one on the bottom, and pause the video, and then come back to me. All right, we've got 3 different problems down here. 14 divided by 7 gives us 2. W to the 9 over W to the 4 gives you W to the 5. And V to the 6 over V to the 3 gives you V to the 3. Good job. Okay, now some special circumstances. Most of the time you'll be told to write your answers with positive exponents only. So we want to explore some of those circumstances here. So we've got g to the negative 9 times g to the negative 8. And you remember that whenever you're multiplying, what you have to do, when you're multiplying powers with the same base, you have to add the exponents. So it'll be g to the negative 9 plus a negative 8. Well, that gives you g to the negative 17. And as you learned in a previous lesson, one of the things that you got to do now, to make this positive, you have to move it to the other side of the divisor line. So this would be 1 over g to the 17th. We've got h to the 9 over h to the 13. That will be h to the 9 minus 13 because you're dividing. And so that will be h to the negative 4. And to make that a positive exponent, we will write 1 over h to the 4th. Okay, your turn. Now we've got m to the 4 n to the negative 3 times m to the negative 9 n to the 4th. You do these two, and then pause the video, and then get back with me, okay? So we've got m to the 4th times m to the negative 9. Remember, we're adding the exponents. So that would be 4 plus a negative 9 n to the negative 3 plus 4. We've got different signs, so we subtract, which gives us 5. Keep the sign of the bigger one, which is negative. And then the second one will be 4 minus 3 gives us 1. So this will be n over m to the 5th, because the negative 5 exponent tells you to move this to the other side of the divisor line. Alright, so we've got q to the 4th over q to the 3rd. That will be q to the 4 minus 3. And then n to the 2 minus 4. So that gives us g to the 1, n to the negative 2. And so that tells us to move the n to the negative 2 to the bottom, which gives us g over n squared. All right, now we're going to be raising a power to a power. Now this one's a little bit different, so we're going to look at it in a little bit more detail. We've got 3 to the 3rd times 3 to the 3rd, and what you've learned is that you add the exponents. 3 plus 3 gives you 3 to the 6th. But this is a special circumstance because look, 3 to the 3rd times 3 to the 3rd, anytime you multiply a number by itself, that means that you're squaring the number. So this is 3 to the 3rd squared. Now look at the relationship we have right here. We've got a 6 up here, and we've got 3 and 2. How do we go from 3 and 2 to 6? Well, right, we multiply 3 times 2. So that's the way you get this answer. You go 3 to the 3 times 2, and that gives you 3 to the 6. So if you've got something like this, 6 to the square raised to the 4th power, that would be 6 to the 4 times 2, which would be 8. If you've got a to the 15th raised to the 15th power, that would be a to the 15 times 15, which would be 225. So whenever you're raising a power to a power, you multiply the exponents. Okay? So when raising a power to a power, what you're going to be doing is multiplying the exponents. That's what you've got to remember to do. So we've got a to the third to the fifth power. So what are we going to do? We're going to multiply 5 times 3, and we're going to get 15. Then over here we've got 4 to the ninth to the third power. So we're going to go 4 to the 9 times 3, which is 27. Now I want you to pause the video, do this one over here, and then get back with me and see how you did. Alright, so you did c to the 8th times 9, which gives you c to the 72. Good job. I'm sure you got that one right. Alright, now raising a product or a quotient to a power. This is a product over here, 2 times n to the 8th. That's multiplication. Over here, this is x squared divided by the 4th. That's a quotient. That's a quotient. And so, what we're going to do is this 3 exponent goes with each thing that's on the inside here. So this is going to be 2 to the third and n to the 3 times 8, which would be n to the 24th. 2 to the third is 2 times 2, which was 8. So the answer would be 8n to the 24th. Alright, the bottom one down here. This will be 3 to the 4th. See, this is a 1 here. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. So that gives us 3 to the 4th, which is 81, x to the 8th. Alright, let's go over here. The 3 goes with each thing that's on the inside. So this is going to be x squared cubed. So that's going to be 3 times 2. So that gives you x to the 6th. And it's going to be 4 cubed, which is 64. And then this one on the bottom, the 5 exponent is going to go with everything in there. So this would be 5 times 1 is a to the 5th. 5 times 3 gives us c to the 15th. And 5 times 5 gives us b to the 25th. Okay, oh my goodness, it's the zombie kitten molten brains. Be careful out there. You never know what you're going to see.